And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, I apologize for that break. Oh my god. But we have returned with ESL Open Cup Americas, Papi Americas, and we're looking to dive in mid-series into Solo versus ByuN. They just made the lobby and we were left behind. We were waiting for it as well. We were waiting for the lobby. We clicked on it and they started, Papi. They started. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. So unfortunately, we did miss the game. We have been given permission to restream though from another caster, thankfully. So we will be able to get that going momentarily. And it looks like ByuN is up 1-0. He's up 1-0 in this best of 3. The winner advances on to the grand finals, as this is the semi-finals before us. Oh my god. The semi-finals are upon us, and yeah, we're gonna be jumping into game number 2 as soon as the delay does catch up. Now the issue here is going to be that we're going to be casting from a 2-minute delay, and hopefully we don't get left behind from the next lobby as well. So I'll try to keep my eye out for that and try to make sure that we're able to keep up with everything that's going on. And again, for those that are tuning in, this is a weekly tournament, ESL Open Cup. Every single week, we are here with ESL Open Cup Americas. It is an open tournament to all regions. It is at an NA-friendly time, but it is open to Korea, to Europe as well, to every region out there. Ooh. So, yeah, we are about to be there. And thank you so much, everyone that stuck around. Thank you so much, everyone that did decide to stick around here for the rest of the broadcast. We do appreciate it. We do appreciate it, as everyone is hopping over, and we're getting this going. Hopefully without too much issue as well. It looks like, again, series are wrapping up, and oh, we're diving on in. We're diving on in, spawning in the bottom right. We have Solar, and in the top left we do have ByuN. Let's go. So again, I do apologize for this being a little bit messy, but a big shout out to Chicken Man as well. Chicken Man, he has given us permission to stream his POV. It is a shame that we were left out of the lobby, but again, hopefully we're able to keep up with all the other lobbies and keep up with all the other series that have been going on. Again, ByuN is leading it 1-0, and he's going to be going for a low ground Rax. Now what's interesting is that it looks like he's going to be going for a Rax factory opener, not a 2 Rax on the low ground. So a very different kind of opener here from ByuN, as opposed to what he's usually known for, as the Rax is going to finish and then he'll go for a factory on the low ground soon thereafter. Meanwhile, back at home, it's going to be a hatch gas pool. Standard opener out of Solar, very economic from our red Zerg player. When it comes to what occurred in game 1, unfortunately I missed it. I don't really... It was a short game, that I know. That I do know was a very short game between our players, and I think it ended at the 8-minute mark. I think ByuN hit just went across the map with a full-up 2-on-1, and it snowballed out of control. But for now, there is that factory, so just a Rax expand into the factory. What's interesting is the factory is not actually a part of the wall either, so very interesting that is not the case. And yeah, instead, he is just getting into, I imagine, a 3cc build. We'll keep an eye on the timing of the starport and the timing of that 3rd cc as well, to see kind of where it does take us. For now, we do see ByuN just vying for map control, going to be zoning that Overlord away. Again, unfortunately, we're not going to have in-game sound, as we are streaming from Chicken Man's POV. Smooch. As we have that 1-1-1 follow-up, actually. Okay, so the aggression is upon us here. ByuN, of course, with a delayed 3rd TC, is going to be looking to be hyper aggressive here with this build. I'm curious as to whether he takes this, if it's just going to be Hellions into Banshees, a standard 1-1-1, or if he goes in a different direction with additional Liberators, for example, or getting into BCs. All are possible. So I'm just making sure I don't miss anything. As, yeah, it's going to be 1-1-1 into Banshee. Okay, so this is very old school, a very old school build. There's a lot of pressure on ByuN to kill workers and to even kill queens, so I'm not too sure how I feel about this overall. I am still a little bit concerned with how we're able to pull this all together. But for now, Hellion's going to be rotating around, looking for a way in. Banshee production well underway, and it's going to be a 2-base all in. Oh my god, ByuN, he doubles down, he throws down 2 more Raxes, not a 3rd TC. So a 2-base all in is upon us. Meanwhile, the Hellions, they get surrounded. Every single Hellion goes down. A disastrous start here for ByuN. He loses map control. Solar able to just drone up quite happily. He checks with his links. He does see the Banshee coming out. He sees Cloak being researched, and he also sees additional Raxes on the way. This should be a tell. From here, Solar shouldn't be droning up too much. He should be saturating up to 3-base saturation at most, maybe with a 4th base for Larva, but shouldn't be looking to be too greedy. Meanwhile, behind this ByuN, it is not all in, just a very delayed 3rd CC from ByuN. It is so late, though. And the onus is on him to, yeah, just get even more damage done. We'll see if he can. Banshee's across the map. It's not able to achieve too much here. There's that CC on the high ground. Banshee does have Cloak, but we have Spore Crawlers at every base. We have Queens at every base as well. So plenty in position. This Banshee going to be dipping towards that 3rd. Gas is being taken. Looks like Solar's actually going to be going into Roaches instead. Interesting choice. Very safe playstyle here from Solar to get into those Roaches. Behind this is that 3rd TC. To have our 2 Raxes being thrown down. 2 additional Raxes. Oh my god. So, yeah, just a 5-rack setup here on 2 bases, as to be expected. 5-rack setup on 3 bases, even. And yeah, ByuN's just getting into his 1-1-1. Personally, I would love to see an ace match between these two. I would love to get into game number 3 as well, if we do get there. Just so I can keep up with everyone else, but we'll see, we'll see. Fingers crossed, Pappy, fingers crossed. As for now, we're just settling into the mid-game, actually. Everything's looking as it should. We have 1-1 on the way. Armory as well. Likewise, we have +1 melee on the way from Solar. So this tells us that the Roaches are just for safety, that Solar intends to go for a more Ling Bane heavy composition instead. So Roach Ravager, Ling Bane out of Solar. He's not going for like a big 66 drone Roach all-in, for example, which is what we saw from Eggs earlier today against Mata. Here's what we saw from him. As ByuN is looking to hit the field, moves out here with the rest of his Marines. Again, vying for map control. 1-1 about to kick in. We can see Solar is already taking up even further. We have an Infestation Bit on the way alongside the Baneling Nest. But Baneling Nest is delayed, which I'm a little bit concerned by, but that's why we have Roach Ravager to make up for it. It's going to be a long one. I can feel it, Papi. I can feel it. It's going to be a long one, Papi. All I can hear is live VIP and crafting sound. Let's go. Beautiful, beautiful. There it is. Hive is on the way. Double drop coming into the main base. So far, Solar able to keep up. Able to zone away that army. And so far, yeah, no kind of big clashes yet. It's really interesting, despite the fact that, despite ByuN's opener, which is why I have to be a little bit concerned for ByuN overall, just because he has been delaying his economy for quite some time. But here we go, he's been building up towards this one big push. Is going to be hitting with 1-1, 2-2 still on the way for ByuN, but that's a lot of tanks. 5 tanks are being set up. We're pushing towards that 4th base. No Banelings are ready for this, only Lynx and Ravagers. 1 tank is going to go down, but ByuN, he's forcing his way in between the bases. Towards that 3rd. As we dive into that mineral line, 5 workers going down. The queens are looking a little bit exposed. Sorry, the tanks are looking a little bit exposed. Tanks will go down. At the same time, that's a cancel onto the 5th base. So ByuN is losing so much. He does get a couple of drones, that's true, but he lost every single one of his tanks, and that does not bode well. Does not bode well as Solar's trying to take advantage of his hive tech. We have Vipers on the way, Ultras as well. Doesn't have the best economy, unfortunately, but the quality of the army is going to be there for Solar. As ByuN is pushing through the center. Creep is being cleaned up. The Rock's going to be buying his Solar a little bit of time here. He does see the army with that creep. He's aware of its location. 4th base on the way behind this for ByuN. ByuN just being hyper aggressive here. He only has a single tank, so he does have to be careful. Does have to respect the army of Solar. This time bailing speed is done. This time Solar can fight this head on. Oh, as we do have a split push coming in. ByuN is actually going for a drop at the same time. Bailings, they will connect on the right hand side. It looks like drones are going down. Don't quite get to, we got to see the tail end of it at least. As these Banshee is going ham here, we do see ByuN being forced back for the time being. ByuN rotating around across the map, but the Ultras are on the way. Oh, they're coming, Papi, they're coming. Ultras are on the way, and ByuN is going to try to keep on pushing on the left-hand side. At least there's no creep to worry about, that I will say. Creep has been receding quite a lot, actually, as both armies are pretty comparable to each other. But here we go, we dive on in, this time with Vipers. Power bombs on the medevacs. Oh, the Bile's actually taking out medevacs as well, and ByuN is on the retreat. He's just lost too much momentum. Remember, he's been bleeding out tanks throughout this entire game, and without tanks, there's just no backbone to this army. Is no backbone. The base is being shut down. Solo pushing in between the bases. You can see ByuN plummet in supply here. We have Lynx harassing the 3rd base. We have Roach Ravager pushing in between as well. Biles are going to be connecting on the mines even. And it looks like Solar, he is doing it. He's breaking ByuN here and now and is forcing that A smash. The boys are being pulled. They're going to do what they can. But already too many workers go down. GG gets called and Solar will take game number 2. We're getting an ace match, and this time you could hear the beeps. This time we are getting into game 3. Thank God. Here we go. We're in game. We can observe. We even have in-game sound as well. It's beautiful. It's the future, the technology spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg representing Onside Gaming, tying up the series 1-1. It is Solar. Now, as we mentioned before, ByuN was being hyper aggressive that last game. He delayed his 3rd base by so long to build up towards that 4 tank push, and the reality is that 4 tank push did not do enough damage. After that failed, ByuN was behind, and he was trying to recover. He was being very aggressive, but you could see that it was kind of like a paper tiger sort of situation where ByuN had a lot of Marines, but no tanks or Widow Mines really behind it to sustain himself. And he's going for a CC first. Oh my God. But again, basically the aggression of ByuN killed him in the end in that last game, and Solo was able to snowball out of control and clench out that win. But here in the ace match, ByuN is going for a CC first, CC into Expand, so CC into Rax, a very economic opener here out of ByuN, and he shouldn't be punished. Solo, he's going for a Hatch Gas Pool. This can be punished by a fast Roach Warren from the Zerg player, but that's not what we're seeing here. We have a standard opener, unlikely for Solo to really be able to move out anytime soon and punish this anytime soon. So a solid start from ByuN. Solid start from him. As we're settling into our game, I'm just trying to make sure that everything is okay. Just trying to make sure that I do have everything correctly set up here. Beautiful. As we just settle into our ace match. So far it is going to be, yeah, just a standard follow-up from this, off of a greedy opener. And Solar is getting into his third base on time, on location as well. So a standard opener out of Solar, just greedy out of ByuN. It's a little bit too early to really determine how this game is going to go. Again, we missed out on game 1, but ByuN, he's known for his aggressive nature, and sometimes that can be his downfall as well, which is what we saw on Site Delta. I believe game 1 was on Algyone. As the Ling is moving out. Just trying to get a read on what's going on. Solar, he sees the timing of the CC. He sees that the orbital's almost done at this point, and he should be able to recognize that this was a greedy economic opener. An economic opener into a 1-1-1. Not a third CC, so once again, aggression from ByuN. Once again, a delayed third. That's ByuN for you. That is ByuN. Thanks for, yeah, big shout out to Chicken Man. Big shout out. Good friend of the channel, back. Good friend. So ByuN is going to be rotating around and trying to get a read on that third base. As I mentioned before, very aggressive opener. It's going to be for an initial drop. We have Hellions and Marines on the way. We have a Hellbat push actually from ByuN. Armory is thrown down, so he's just doubling down here on the aggression. This isn't necessarily all in, but very committed from ByuN. And if this doesn't get damage done, then ByuN is behind. Straight up. He's just investing so much into this. He's delaying his third base by so much as well, just to make this push work. Back at home, Solar, he hasn't scouted. He doesn't know what's going on. He has an Overlord, but he hasn't gone into the main. How many queens do we have? We have 6 queens, soon to be 8 queens. Lings are coming out. No Bailey Nest, no Roach Warren. Just Ling Queen to defend. Now, it is possible to defend. It's going to be difficult, though. So here we go. The push is upon us. With only 6 queens, it is going to be difficult. Here we go. The Hellbats have been revealed. Immediately, Solar, he does pull back. Lings are on the way. Solar, he has control of the high ground. Zoning back the army. Behind this, Liberator and Stim on the way. And now ByuN throws down the third base, but a very late third. And we're pushing in. Trying to force our way in. The Ling's getting ready for a surround. Trying to collapse on the Marines. And ByuN, yeah, he doesn't, or he just isn't able to fully execute this. Back at home, Solar gets a full scout. He gets eyes on the third CC, and Solar's going to be feeling pretty good. Solar's going to be feeling pretty good about himself, because now he knows he can expand, take a 4th base. Liberator gets denied. Solar, he knows that he is free to attack. And what can ByuN really do? He's going to rotate around and deny the 4th if it were to be on the way. This is probably the biggest criticism here that I have for Solar, is that his 4th is late. And that he could throw one down, but he's just dealing with this army first, making sure he's safe. At the same time, Liberator into the main base, gets a couple of hits in, but nothing too massive, nothing too major. Solar, he's up 2 workers. Sorry, oh, that's 2? He's up 20 workers. Hellion drop into the main. He's gonna get some damage done. Never mind. Lings are in position. The Hellions are denied. Alien S on the way. Lair as well. Oh, the positioning of the Queens takes down the medevac. Massive pickoff. And again, this opener from ByuN has not been worth it. There's the 4th base on the way. He's taking the linear 4th instead of the triangular 3rd as the 4th. Interesting choice. This will allow for Solar to just launch his creep across the map and threaten the southern bases of ByuN. Also, because of the space location, he's expanding away from the Terran, not towards. He's double expanding even. This makes sense. I was kind of harping on this a little bit, but Solar, his fourth base is late, and Solar knows that, so he double expands. To catch up, to make up for how late this base is, why not just take 2? Ooh, transfuse a little bit too late. We get 1 queen. We don't quite get the other. A good pick off here from ByuN, trading a marine for a queen. ByuN is backing up, establishing himself on these 3 bases. Meanwhile, Solar, he's getting into his 1-1. He's taking up into a Hydrogen and an Infestation Pit. Again, you can definitely argue that this tech is late. It is delayed from Solar. It does feel like he's just been very safe and very cautious, arguably overly so. Have ByuN pushing forward, cleaning up a lot of this creep. Trying to pull apart the attention of Solar. We do have Banelings, but no Baneling speed. It's about to kick in a couple of seconds, and Banelings will connect. Ooh. Big connections here on the army. At the same time, we have a double drop on the right-hand side. 1 queen goes down. After the links, they get us around as well. And Solar, he may have lost a couple of queens, may have traded with the Ling Bane, but he hasn't lost workers. That's what's important. Solar, he's up to 86 drones. Doesn't need a drone up anymore from here. An ideal economy. And ByuN is still 1 step behind. Maybe even more than 1. He's getting queens. Oh my god, 2 queens do go down. Yeah, Solar out of position with his Ling Bane. He overreacted to the drop. Ooh. But good connections nonetheless. ByuN, he didn't have enough medevacs. There was no room. There was no room to pick up. Marines were left behind. And ByuN, he's bleeding out too much. Now he's getting a 4th CC on location, but it is so late. And we mentioned this before. Sometimes the aggression of ByuN kills him. Sometimes the aggression of ByuN is just, yeah, really what hurts him in the end. We'll see if that's going to be the case here. Once again, going for a split push. Once again, just committing everything to the attack. Mine's going to be going up. Solar just collapsing on this army. Now, we do have a couple of medevacs moving out, and Solar not quite in position once again. Drones are going down. Good target firing here out of ByuN. Oh my god, intentionally target firing every single worker. 13 drones go down. ByuN, he's getting back into this. He's not quite there yet, but he's getting there. Unfortunately for ByuN, Solar has been taking. We have Vipers on the way, Lurker Den, soon to be 3-3, or +3 carapace at least. Solar is 1 step ahead. That was a good moment from ByuN. It did force Solar to re-drone, resaturate, but Solar has maxed. And this time Solar has correctly split up his army. The mines! Oh my god, some massive mine shots on those lings! So many lings go down. A good trade from ByuN. At the same time, clearing up a lot of creep on the right-hand side. Drop going into the main. Threatening a drop into the main. And ByuN is doing well for himself. Again, his control is some of the best in the world. Despite being behind, he's slowly recovering. But can he get there? These Lunkers, they're going to be on the way. How good are the mine shots going to be? Decent. Ooh, massive connections, actually, on those Banelings. Yeah, the Widow Mine's just popping off, and Solar having a hard time keeping up here. Meanwhile, ByuN's economy has been left untouched. He has orbitals at his 4th. This is borderline illegal. So greedy having an orbital here. He has nothing at him to defend, but he's not being punished. Now, the worrisome thing, though, is that ByuN is stuck on a low-tech army. Marine, mine. What are we missing? No ghosts. No ghosts. And once Solar trades, we're going to see a massive amount of workers coming out. Drop going to be coming in. Oh, Solar is being pulled apart. Once again, Solar having a really hard time keeping up. They're bleeding out a lot of Ling Bane. Doom drop into the third base, into the natural. Main army pushing on the right-hand side, and Solar is not ready for it. He has the army. He's just not in position. Drop going all the way into the main as well. No lurkers. If we had some lurkers here that we could hold, but Solar, he's losing far too much. And ByuN, has he done it? The jobs are being cleaned up. It's so close. Still no lurkers, by the way. No lurkers. The Hydras are going down, and ByuN is breaking through. Just barely not. Just barely doesn't break through. Solar will hold. He doesn't have a bank, though. He cannot afford lurkers. And ByuN can keep pushing. Again, ByuN has been left untouched back at home. No run-bys, no counter-attacks, and the drop play continues. This still feels on a knife's edge. It feels like, again, if Solar's able to get a little bit of breathing room, then he will shut this down. Completely. We just need a couple of lurkers. That's all we really need. Here we go. The Bailings are connecting. Big connections. Bailings on the Marines once again as well. But it looks like we have overextended. Good split there on those medevacs. Drop into the main. Solar, he cannot keep up. He's been investing so much into these lurkers and never able to make them. And this rally is a breaking Solar. Oh my god. Solar, he's the last Zerg player in the tournament, but it looks like ByuN has broken through. Our reinforcements coming in. 1 Hydra's left. 0 Hydras left. Oh god, we have another wave of Hydras coming out. The boys may have to be pulled. But these are expensive losses for Solar. And again, ByuN just continues to rally across the map. A very close game. The mines, they're resetting. There's no detection. Okay, there we go. We do have some detection available now. Solar, he barely holds. There it is, finally a couple of lurkers. If we had these earlier, 100% a cleaner hold. A much cleaner hold would have been had here for Solar. Meanwhile, ByuN, I think he knows that he's on the timer. He knows that he's being outscaled and he needs to shut down these lurkers. Once they arrive, it completely changes the dynamic of this game. Like, ByuN has no gas. He has no gases back at home. ByuN has been very all-in with Marine Mine. That's why he's been so aggressive. On the mines. Not quite going to be connecting here. Nothing protecting these Hydras. Where are the lurkers? They're not here. We need them. As it looks like ByuN has done it. The lurkers are just nowhere to be found. They're now coming in, but a little bit too little too late. As Solar is going to be losing everything here. GG gets called and ByuN does it. He comes back from a deficit. He pulls off the 8 racks. GG gets called and ByuN will take the series 2-1. GG. God, that was such a risky playstyle. But that was an 8 racks all in at a ByuN. Again, just pure Marine Mine. No gases, no Marauders, no Ghosts, no nothing else. Just pure aggression at a ByuN. And Solar was arguably a little bit too lax. I do think that Solar, he gave ByuN a lot of breathing room, more so than he needed to. And he allowed ByuN to not be punished, right? This playstyle from ByuN can be punished quite hard. I think another big thing that maybe Solar didn't realize, because it was an 8 racks all in, even Lair Tech lurkers do so well against this. You don't need to wait for the Hive upgrades to finish to actually get into lurker production and actually have a stable defense against that kind of army. Solar was just waiting for that Hive, and GG. GG, well played. And just like that, ByuN advances on to the grand finals. Meanwhile, we are heading over to the Americas. Can we catch him? Or are we too late? I was a little bit late to switch regions. Oh god. Don't leave us behind. No! Feels bad, man. 1 minute too late. 1 minute, Poppy. Ay, ay, ay. Looks like we did miss the series. Ah. Yeah, that's my fault. I did take a little bit too long switching regions, and it looks like they started without us. But so ByuN does advance on to the grand finals, and up next is going to be Creator versus Clem, if I'm not mistaken. Creator versus Clem, currently ongoing. Not too sure as to the score, but yeah, that's on me. I should have been a little bit faster to hop over.